Sergeant Arms, please present our head table guest. Sergeant Arms, please present to this station our National Commander from Nebraska, Mike Helm. Sergeant at Arms.
Comrade Commander.
Please have Northborough Post 234 post the colors of our country.
Captain of the Guard, advance your colors. Present arms. Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
order arms.
Heavenly Father, as we gather tonight to honor the National Commander of this great organization, let us always be mindful of those who are in harm's way, protecting us, protecting our country, and that we are always grateful for them and for the sacrifice that they have made. Amen.
And our POW MIA Chairman Ray Samko will lead us in the ritual.
Before we begin our activities this evening, we pause to recognize our POWs and MIAs. We call your attention to the small table, which occupies a place of dignity and honor. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. They are referred to as POWs and MIAs. We call them comrades. They are unable to be with us, with their loved ones and families, so we join together to pay humble tribute to them and to bear witness to their continued absence. The table is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her suppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single rose in the vase signifies the blood that they have shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep faith while awaiting their return. The red ribbon on the vase represents the red ribbons worn on the lapels of the thousands who demand, with unyielding determination, a proper account of our comrades who are not among us. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us at this time. The chair is empty. They are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home away from their captors to the open arms of a grateful nation. The American flag reminds us that many of them may never return and have paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our freedom. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifice. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families. Amen.
Right now, I'd like to introduce the speakers for this evening. Head table the subhead table. Mark Avis, past National Vice Commander, and his wife, Joyce. James Fratellillo, past National Historian, and his wife, Diane. The wife of past National Sergeant-at-Arms, Joe Steen, Nancy Steen, and her daughter, Mary Ellen Steen. An award recipient, Joanne Murphy from Post 257, and her husband, Brian. And our membership coordinator, Miss Judith Hall, and her escort, Milton Lashes, past National Executive Committee member. Subhead Table 2, our Department Treasurer, Kevin Leary. And his escort for this evening, our Administrative Assistant, Shavala Guadalupe. Wow.
Remember that.
I will remember that.
Stop looking for another job.
Past National Commander of the Sons of the American Legion, Cliff Smith, and his wife Joanne Smith, past Department President. The Director of the 20 and 4, Priscilla Fonseca. Gentleman that travels with the National Commander is Aide Donald Suki. Past National Commander Henry Bradley.
Vice Commander.
Vice Commander. You're over here. You're over here. And the newest gentleman, our newest employee, he is the Assistant Department Service Officer, Mike Whalen. The head table on speakers, our Department Sergeant-at-Arms, Henry Young, and his wife, Linda. William, past Department Commander's Escort, Kathy Welch. Husband of NEC of the American Legion Auxiliary, James Slosser. Over here, Tony Heath, aides to the Department Commander, and Michelle, his wife, Michelle. The wife of alternate NEC, Frank McDonald's wife, Maureen. The escort of past National Commander, John P. J. Comer, Florence Publicova, past Department President. And that's it. So, where are they? They want to serve us or what? Well, we can get the program going, since we don't want to serve any food. Well, let's start this off with a bang. Bob Burke, where are you?
Good evening, everyone. As most of you are probably aware, that Post 64 down in Middleborough has adopted the Comfort Warriors as their pet project, if you will, for the last 2 years. Last summer, our Vice Commander decided that she was going to take a ride to Chicago. Went around talking to everyone, saying, we should all donate a penny a mile to my journey. But she begged us. She went to California. 12, yeah. That's 12,000 miles. At a penny a mile, that's 120 miles, $120. So she begged us. Last year, we were able to give $9,500 to Comfort Warriors. This year, Mary, where are you, Mary? Mary Standish over there. Her ride raised, come on up, Mary. Her ride raised $4,200. Comfort Warriors. Amanda would like to send you a check.
Turn that around.
There you go.
Get in here.
You're welcome.
I'd like to now present to you the Detachment Commander of Massachusetts, Billy Murphy.
Thank you very much. Madam Department President, past National Commanders Comer, Morin, Smith, distinguished guests, members of the American Legion family, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Commander, it is my honor on behalf of the Detachment of Massachusetts to bring to you the greetings of the 5,500 members of the Sons of the American Legion across our Commonwealth. Over the many years of our activity on the national level, we have heard many great things about you over the last 25 years, since Jake Comer had the honor of serving as our national commander. And that was the year that I had the honor of attending Boys Nation with Jake as our commander, and one of my closest friends to this day is still from the state of Nebraska. But Commander, on behalf of the Detachment of Massachusetts, I would like to just make a small presentation to you and congratulate you on a wonderful year of service. And while you're opening that, if I could ask all members of the Sons of the American Legion and all those that are dual members just to be stand and briefly recognized.
There we go. Thank you so much. I
And
appreciate that.
for the purpose of a presentation as well, at this time, I'd like to introduce the National Executive Committee man of the Sons of the American Legion, Mr. Ray Samko.
Good evening, everyone. Of course, as National Executive Committee man, I bring you the greetings of our Sons of the Legion National Commander, Mike Moss, from the Detachment of Colorado. He's not here today, but you'll all get to meet him at the Department Convention and the Detachment Convention in June in Plymouth. I recently attended the Washington conference, and I was sent there because I'm the POW MIA chairman from the Department of Massachusetts. So I went to the National Security Commission meetings, and I expected to hear two speakers. But at the opening of the session, our national commander spoke. And one thing that impressed me was that, he's traveling all around the place. But part of his duties, he went to Vietnam. And he was able to visit and participate in some excavations for looking for remains of POWs and MIAs. And I was very impressed with what he had to say, and I thank you very much for that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, on behalf of the Detachment of Massachusetts, Commander, I'd like to present you a check for $1,000 for the Child Welfare Foundation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Time for another presentation. And this one will be given to the gentleman who served us last year as our department commander, William Chisholm.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you all for giving me the privilege of serving last year. Secondly, this was a late file and my ring has not arrived yet. So this is a phony presentation. But again, my books will be here shortly as well. So I thank you all. I appreciate all your help.
Sergeant at Arms,
Comrade Chairman,
please present to this station a young lady from Vineyard Haven, Joanne Murphy, who was selected as the Veterans Service Officer of the Commonwealth for the year 2014.
all right, Joe.
The American Legion National Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Commission citation for meritorious service and loyal cooperation in the American Legion Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Program. Joanne Murphy is awarded this citation in recognition thereof by the National Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Commission, the American Legion, this 11th day of April 2015, signed by the National Director and the National Chairman. Thank you very much.
There we go. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. It was an honor to meet you, sir.
Thanks for what you're doing. Keep doing it.
You know, Hank, it was such a shock and an honor when I got the award from the Department of Veterans Services, but this just is the frosting on the cake. I love the American Legion. I've been a member a long time, and I hope to be here a long time to continue what I do. Thank you.
Now to bring you the greetings of the American Legion Auxiliary, your Department President, Linda Ward.
I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight. We all have lots of choices to make, and coming here was very nice of you. I would also like to thank the American Legion family for their generosity for the Department President's Soldier's Wish campaign. That everybody has done a fabulous job. National Commander, I would like to present this to you from the American Legion Auxiliary Department of Massachusetts to use at your discretion. And at this time, while he's opening that, if our department officers could just stand up to be acknowledged. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Oh, gee. Yeah, we gotta be pretty. Okay, now stand over this way.
Oh, gee.
Good evening, everyone. Commander. I welcome you here to the state of Massachusetts. I bring you greetings from our national president, Janet Jefferson, my own personal greetings.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you had a chance to visit the state of Massachusetts. I hope that you had a wonderful stay and hope to see you again. Come back again when you have some time on your hands.
All right.
I'd like to present this to you. There's a little check in here for you.
Oh, thank you.
And while he's opening that, I would like for all the past department presidents to please rise. First of all, Ann Fournier, Carolyn Baranowski, Donna Camillus, Marion Roberts, Judith Hall, Mariella Morissette, Donald Blattenberger, Cynthia Johnson Smith, Joanne T. Smith, and Florence Publicova. Thank you, ladies.
What do I got? Sachet, candle? Yes. Very nice. Whoa. Yeah?
Good.
Done? All right.
Now to bring the greetings of our department commander, and he'll explain the absenteeism by these two settings here. There's no one sitting there. So I'd like to bring up our department commander's best friend, Ben Wilcoxon, to explain, and it'll be followed by Frank McDonald to introduce the officers.
This is kind of nice up here. I could get used to coming up here once in a while.
podium's wide.
Charlie wanted me to relay to you tonight that he is very sorry that he can't be here. He had radiation yesterday and he was really weak today. So him and Jeanette decided it was best that they stay home. And he wants to know that he really does miss coming in and being at the meetings. He said thank you for all your letters and cards and all the phone calls that he's got. He really does appreciate it. Now, National Commander Mike Helm, past National Commander Jake Cromer, past Department something, President, sorry, Florence Public Cover, and Donald, wherever he's at. Charlie, you come out and visited Charlie today. He really appreciate that. It's going to wear my ear out after a couple of days. He'll be calling me up and we'll be talking about this for probably weeks to come. But I don't think you can ever realize how much it meant to him that you guys came out and saw him today. So, on behalf of Charlie, I thank you. Now, National Commander Mike Helm.
I can get up.
You got good taste. You got the same suit.
That's it. Mine was half price.
This check. No, it was.
It's half his size.
I know. You got the message. That's good.
Shut up, DA2. This check is from this check here is from the department commander.
$100 from Charlie.
And I won't eat for a week or so because my wife met Mike today and she really liked him. So she took our bread and butter and wrote out another check for you.
Another $100. That's
Yeah.
good.
So thank you very much, Commander.
Thank you.
And thank you again for all you did.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. And keeping on the roll of Charlie, I would ask all past department commanders rise to be recognized. Past department commanders. Jimmy Brio. Michael Cassidy. Tommy Shoemaker. Jim Fratellillo. Mark Amos. Milton Lashes. First Sergeant Bradley. Arthur Smith. And immediate past department, Alvin Fuller. I got you. Oh, Donnie, I'm sorry, I didn't see you over there. Donnie Dixon, from my own district. And immediate past department commander, Bill Chisholm. Oh, these guys never stand. Past national commander, past department commander, Paul Moran. Past national commander, past department commander, John P. Jake Comer. I haven't done this for a while. Past department commander, Whitey McKittrick. I would normally go through the process of bringing the greetings from the national organization, in particular the national commander, and talk a little bit about his theme and his project for the year. But we're very lucky tonight because he's here to do it for himself. So without further ado, I'll introduce past National Commander Jake Comer for the person's introduction.
Thank you very much, Frank. Appreciate that. First introduction I would like to make, and I don't understand why he's not up here himself because he's never lost for words. But I'm honored to present to you for a bow and for introduction an outstanding past national commander from this department, my son, Paulie Moran. I was at a District 5 banquet short while ago, and Steve Silvestri, who was doing the chefing that day, put up a bottle of wine. He said, "I'm going to auction this bottle of wine off." He held it up. You got $1, you got $2, or $5. And he bid $10. Naturally, they all look over at my table, you know, I gotta do something, so I said $20. Wasn't long, then there was no other, it was kind of silent. So he said $30. So I said, you own it. So he says, well, come on up here. He says, I bid 30, here's my 30, and you bid 20, so where's your 20? I never knew that was kind of an auction that I was used to. So I put the 20 down, and we ended up with $50. He says, now, when the national commander comes in, you give that $50 to his charity. So, Commander,
Thank you, Jake.
I want to tell you, the only one that made out on that deal besides yourself was he took the wine and he didn't give it to me. He didn't keep it himself. He gave it to Annette Makuta from Waltham, so she got the wine. But we're very happy to that little scenario to add in your $50 to the... I thought I was something in 1987 with the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons and the 8 and 40 and the Legion, when I said we're going to raise $1 million for child welfare, and we raised $1,168,000. But this little rascal turns around and says he met with us in Indianapolis, met with the team. I said, what's your challenge going to be this year? She says, I'm going to raise $4 million. That's made up of all the charities that we encompass. And he's only about 50,000 short of the $4 million. Believe me, he's about $3.5 million he's already raised. So, Commander, you're outstanding. I'd like to think we had a little something to do with that, because in 1987, this young man was state commander of Nebraska during my year, along with Paul Moran, the state commander of Massachusetts, Ron Conley, the state commander of Pennsylvania, and Joe Frank, the past national vice commander out of Missouri. So we had a good year. We started raising big money, and you did it, Commander. Congratulations. I'm really proud of you. With that, you've heard me many, many years. You don't need to hear me much more. It's my opportunity to, first, I want to welcome and recognize so many here at the head table, Department President, your NEC, alternate, and tell you how privileged we were today when we had the opportunity to drive out to Quincy and visit with our commander, and he was so excited. But we're happy we did that, and I know when I said to the commander, this is what I would like to do, he says, not a problem, let's go. And then to be on the stage with Mrs. Murphy receiving her award for all the good work that she's done out in the islands. So still doing a good job out there. Congratulations, keep up the good work. In introducing the National Commander this evening, he's quite a guy. He actually lives in Kansas, belongs in Nebraska. He's right on the border. The significance that Joyce Davis put together, the head table, she has these mailboxes and chocolates and candies inside, because our commander, Mike, delivered mail every day. He was a mailman, and a good one. When he was commander in 1987 with me, he wasn't even married. Now he's got 5 children. His oldest son and his daughter-in-law graduated from the military academy at West Point. His second son is graduating in May from the Air Force Academy. And then he's going on for training as an Air Force pilot. His other 3 children, he has 2 other sons and a daughter. She's out in San Antonio with her husband, and she's equally bright. What's she doing, engineering or something?
Geologist.
Theology?
Geology, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, it's something more than I do. But she's very, very bright. He's got 5 bright children, and we're very proud. And his wife, Debbie, is one of the best. So, ladies and gentlemen, the National Commander of the American Legion, Michael Helm.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's been a good trip into the great department of Massachusetts, and what a great number of friends over the years I've made. And then, of course, being here for this short time that I'm here, a lot of new friends. And I think that's the great part about the American Legion family, is that it's so easy to make friends because we're all about the same thing. And when I start off, I always want to start off with the fact that we're a God and country organization, and we're not going to back away from that. And the second thing about us is that we know who a veteran is. And a veteran is a citizen of this country who has stepped forward to offer his or her service in defense of this nation's commitment to justice, freedom, and democracy, and by that commitment has had his or her life radically and sometimes violently changed forever. And it's up to us as an organization to remind this nation of that sacrifice, because this nation too soon wants to forget. But at the same time, as a veterans organization, we have to be there to reach out and offer our assistance to him or her who shall have borne the battle and their children, and to give them whatever they may need. And the way we do that is through our membership in the organization. Membership is the voice of our organization, and it's very, very important. In my year as your national commander, I've tried to emphasize renewals. Nationwide, we're losing about 16% of our membership through non-renewal. And we can't expect to grow as an organization unless we put a stop to that. And so I'm asking you from now until the National Convention in Baltimore that you reach out individually to those members in your post that have not yet renewed their membership in this great organization. 3 reasons people don't renew in membership. Number 1, we made them mad. And if that's the case, we need to reach out to them and fix that, or find them another post to go to, because their membership is still very important. The second reason people don't renew is because they have some health care problems or some financial problems. And if that's the case, then we can tide them over for a couple of years until they get their feet back on the ground. And the third reason people don't renew is because they forgot. But you don't know that answer to that question unless you actually make that face-to-face contact with those members of your post that haven't renewed. So I ask you to be working on that very, very hard. And what do we do with our membership once we have it? We address the 4 pillars of the organization. First of all, Americanism. And right away, American Legion baseball comes to mind. Certainly the National Oratorical Contest, or the Oratorical Contest comes to mind. We're down to the last 3 young people for that contest tomorrow. I think come from Illinois, Florida, and Iowa. And so we'll see tomorrow who wins that, but certainly those are great. That's another great Americanism program. But in my year as your national commander, I want us to reach out to those citizens that come here legally. I want us to help them to get to that all-important American citizenship. And if you happen to be near a United States citizenship and immigration service field office, I'm asking that you reach out, open up your post, and help those people to that all-important citizenship. I'm not talking about illegal immigration, because we continue to see that as a national security threat and continue to oppose it, but we need to reach out to those immigrants that come here legally and help them become citizens. And then our children and youth programs and how important they are. That we use those programs to teach our young people the heroes that you are, the sacrifices that you made. And as they work those programs and complete those programs, we weave them into the cloth that is America, the cloth that you were made of. And so as you get old and pass on, that cloth America remains strong. And when I talk about children and youth programs, I think about the Sons of the American Legion and how important they have become in our great American Legion family. Back when I first became involved in the American Legion in the 70s and in the early 80s, we utilized them to raise money for our Child Welfare Foundation. What a great job they did. But over the years, I've watched them become so important to us, helping us at our post functions, having post functions of their own, being a part of our color guard, our parades, our funeral details, and then going with us to Capitol Hill and to our legislature here, working on those veterans legislation that we know are so all important. And then became involved in our volunteer program in VA&R, being a part of our volunteer force at our veterans hospitals and our veterans homes. And I congratulate the Sons of the American Legion on being such an important part of our family. And then the fastest growing program we have in the American Legion, the American Legion Riders, and how important they are, came on board as the current war on terrorism began to unfold, made up mostly of Vietnam veterans, Vietnam-era veterans, who were mistreated as they came back from that war. And they said, not again. And they showed this nation how to send troops off to war, how to bring troops home from war, and then provided that all-important funeral detail escort for those who lost loved ones in the current war on terrorism. And then started a fundraising project of their own called the Legacy Scholarship Fund, raising scholarship money for those young men and women who might have lost a mother or father in the current war on terrorism. And what a wonderful job they do. This past year, the American Legion Riders rode their motorbikes from national headquarters in Indianapolis, Indiana, to Charlotte, North Carolina, to our national convention, and on that ride raised nearly $1 million for the Legacy Scholarship Fund. I would just challenge the American Legion Riders as they develop that program more and more, that they also become involved in our volunteer force at our veterans hospitals and our veterans homes. We certainly need both their help and the help of the Sons of the American Legion. And then national security. Absolutely amazing that there would be a people in the world today that would think that it's all right to lop off people's heads, that it's all right to burn people, that it's all right to tie explosives to their children and send them into populated areas to cause more death and destruction. There's no way you can sit down and negotiate with that way of life, and so we know they must either be destroyed or at least contained. And so we supported the president as he began the bombing, and we said that more would have to be done later, and you see the more beginning to unfold today. All we ask of the president is that he sends our troops off to war with good equipment to keep them as safe as possible, that he remembers the safety of the family back at home, and that he has a plan to bring that fighting force back home successfully at the end of that mission that they are on. And then national security itself. People in Washington, D.C., and that number grows year by year, that think that if we were a second-rate power or a lesser power, the rest of the world might like us better. And you all know that's not true. And so we continue to stand for a strong national defense. And not just in our equipment, not just in our training, not just in our research, but how we treat and respect the military family. We need to make sure that as our force is engaged in battle overseas, they don't have to worry about their family at home having sufficient salary, health care, housing, and retirement. We can't expect that same quality citizen to step up and serve this country if we're not willing to make that same sacrifice for their families. So we continue to work on that. And then the reason that we exist as an organization. Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation to care for him or her who shall have borne the battle and their family. How disappointed we were last year when Phoenix first began to unfold. And then it wasn't just Phoenix, but it was all across America. Veterans hospitals not providing timely health care to our veterans. Veterans hospitals more concerned about looking good and also making sure that they got their bonuses. And so we called on a secretary's resignation, and that happened. We have a new secretary now, and we're working with him trying to restore that faith and trust in our all-important VA healthcare system. We're still concerned that timely health care is not there in all cases. We're still concerned that the claims and appeal process isn't what we thought it would be. We're a little disappointed that the accountability for what happened a year ago isn't being addressed as swiftly as we think it could be in firings, in retraining, and in discipline. But we continue to work with the Secretary in trying to make those things happen. There's the choice health card out there. There's lots of concerns about it that needs to be readjusted, and we're working also with the Secretary on that. I've talked to the Secretary on the phone, I've talked to him in person, and I think he's going to, as we work with him, lead the VA healthcare system back to the great healthcare system that we know it can be. I want to address just a couple of medical issues. The current war on terrorism seems to be traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress, the signature wounds of that war. And we think that the VA are utilizing far too many drugs to treat those conditions. We think there are some outcome-based therapies out there that can be utilized to bring them back to a fuller recovery, and so we continue pushing that. And I've talked to the Secretary about it, and he agrees. He eventually wants to have a brain summit, if you will, where he would bring together the DOD, the VA, the Veteran Service Organizations, other outside interest groups such as the National Football League that has a problem with brain injury, that we can all work together to find a better way to treat those injuries rather than just drugs. 3 things happen when you misuse drugs. Number 1, drug abuse. Number 2, homelessness, and number 3, suicide. And far too much of all of those amongst our veteran population. So then a national commander gets a couple of programs of his own to push forward as his year unfolds, and mine deal with the whole American Legion family. I think that's so important. And the first one is membership. I want the American Legion Auxiliary, and the sons of the American Legion to work hard on getting their membership to 100%. And once each member of the family, the unit, the squadron, and the post are at 100%, I've got a ribbon that'll go on your flag. It'll say 100% American Legion family, followed by the symbol of the American Legion Auxiliary, the sons of the American Legion, and the American Legion Riders. You all have to get there in order to get that ribbon. So I see the post and the squadron helping the unit, and the unit and the squadron helping the post. All of us working together, we can get to that 100% membership. 2.4 million members of the American Legion, 800,000 members of the American Legion Auxiliary, and 370,000 members of the Sons of the American Legion. That's about 3.5, 3.6 million members in this great American Legion family. And if we get to that 100%, we can raise and we can grow to 4 million, and that's where I want to go. Same way with fundraising. I couldn't pick out just one charity to raise money for, and so I picked all American Legion charities, all American Legion Auxiliary charities. I already mentioned the Child Welfare Foundation. I mentioned the Legacy Scholarship Fund. There's also Operation Comfort Warrior, the National Emergency Fund, Temporary Financial Assistance, a brand new one out there called Soldier's Wish, which I'm thinking you'll get excited about once you know more about it. And over on the auxiliary side, there's the Auxiliary Emergency Fund, a couple of scholarships, and the Auxiliary Foundation. And I don't care which of those charities you give to, keep in mind that every dollar you give to an American Legion charity goes to that charity. No administrative cost in giving to the American Legion or the American Legion Auxiliary charities. And if you give and give generously, we're going to raise, as past Commander Comer said, $4 million. He boosted my number just a little bit. I've got 3,298,000 right now, but we're close. We're over 80% on the way to that 4 million, and we're right at 60% through my year as your national commander. So we got 40% more of my time and 20% more of the money to raise, and I know we're going to get there. I think personally we're going to go to 5 million, but First, we'll get to 4 million. Get your dollars out, and we'll get there first, and then we'll move on up there from that. So you heard me use the word 4 several times. 4 million several times. And the reason for that is it's my 4x4 campaign. And I see us, for God and Country, 4 pillars, 4 million members, $4 million. The old 4-wheel drive going down the road, all of the wheels turning in the same direction. The American Legion Auxiliary, the Sons of the American Legion and the American Legion Riders, raising all those dollars and members for this great God and Country organization. And just to let you know how important you are in your own community, I want to tell a little story. And we were back, my aide, Don Suki, Don, stand up. There you go. We were back in Indianapolis and going back to Nebraska for a little homecoming so I could thank my department for electing me as a national commander. We left early in the morning for Indianapolis Airport, and the plane was canceled and then delayed again. And finally, late in the afternoon, we flew out of there into Dallas-Fort Worth, and got into Dallas-Fort Worth and a couple more flight delays. And finally, late at night, 10 or 11 o'clock, we finally flew out of Dallas-Fort Worth, going into Grand Island, Nebraska. And as we flew along through Texas and Oklahoma, into Kansas, and then into Grand Island, Nebraska, up there in the air in the Midwest, not much population out there anymore. It was a pretty dark night. But as I looked out there, every now and then I could see little clusters of light. And as I flew along, I soon realized that those clusters of light were American Legion communities, American Legion families, serving their community and serving the veterans in their community. 13,500 American Legion post families all across this great land. And that's what each and every one of you are involved in your own community. And I say to you, if you continue to serve the people in your community, if you continue to serve the veterans in your community, then your community is going to be okay, Massachusetts is going to be okay, and most of all, this great God and Country America is going to be okay. God bless America, God bless our fighting men and women, and most of all, God bless the good people of Massachusetts. Thank you.
Commander, it is very traditional here in Massachusetts to present you with the most beautiful gift. Each national commander, going back, I don't know how many years, at least 20, has received the same gift. And I know I have visited the home of a few national commanders. Some of the gifts that we get around some of the departments is a lot of junk, and it really is. I was in Pennsylvania, and they gave me as a gift a complete seal of the state of Pennsylvania. What the hell am I going to do with that? But anyway, when I walked in many of the homes, the gift that we're going to present to the commander was sitting there in their living room because it's so beautiful and it represents all of you. So, Commander, we'd like to present to you to bring home to Debbie an Irish Waterford crystal lamp.
Ooh, very nice. Wow. Don't drop it. Did you get... Well, once again, this trip into your great Commonwealth. There you go. Pretty close, wasn't it? Anyway, it's been a great visit. Once again, I value all of your friendships. Certainly today, going and visit Charlie was, I know Charlie liked it, but it meant a lot to me too. He's a great leader for you. All those sacrifices, and he suffers, but he's still got the American Legion at heart. So I want all of you to continue to serve this great Commonwealth, this great department, clear up until my time in Baltimore. Some of you guys think you're going to be done here in your department convention. You all owe me until Baltimore. Thank you very much.
We also must remember a few that could not be with us tonight, but we owe them so much. Past National Vice Commander Leo Malloy, who's sick and ill in a rehab hospital in Cambridge. Lee Plummer, who just got through an operation, a brain tumor that I understand he's coming along good, but fortunately, the tumor was not malignant, so we're very pleased about that. Steve Gemmell, who's home in the Chicopee area with his illnesses. And Lee Plummer, I mentioned Lee. There's one with us here tonight. Where's Wiggy? If Wiggy will stand, the Wigmores, who just come back from Florida, but past National Vice Commander of the Sons, and he's really recovering from a very serious operation. We will certainly wish you the very best, Wiggy, and we're so happy that you could be with us here tonight. And if you notice, through his illness and the operations, they had to shave his head. And his wife is so lovable that she shaved hers too. Deidre, you look great. And lastly, before I leave, I want to express a sincere thank you to my committee for putting this program on each year. Al Canali, who handles the tickets for me, and the various district chairmen. Will all my district chairmen please rise, and the vice chairman of the committees, Paul Moran, who's my vice chairman. Will all members of the committee please rise? Thank you very much. But I would be totally remiss if I did not single out one individual that I owe great debt of gratitude. I'm on the phone with him constantly towards the end of this program as we move along. But Bob Baranowski is without a doubt the finest Legionnaire and handles this program with great distinction. Bob, thank you. On Monday, he goes in the hospital for a quadruple bypass. Bob, we're all with you. And this year, we took the commander and his aide to the Springfield area, which is rather unusual. I think Tom Bach was the last one that we took up to the west. And Post 275, and those of you from District 3, we owe you a great debt. So Bob, to you and Louis Brault and all of the committee that took us up there yesterday at your post for coffee and then went on to the Westover Air Force Base where we toured that C-5, and inside that plane, the mammoth plane, that 6 school buses go inside, tanks go inside, they carry the presidential limousines on presidential occasions. We got to tour the complete base and tour that plane. And then on to the Springfield Armory, and then from there, that was a great trip, and then on to the Basketball Hall of Fame. And the commander was very thrilled with that, only they tried to dunk him instead of the ball. But it was a great trip, and then we went off to my favorite place, the Student Prince, so they call it the Fort, for dinner, and then back here. We didn't get much sleep because the night before he was coming in at 11 o'clock. I picked him up at the airport. His plane was delayed in Minneapolis, and we got back here at the hotel at 2 in the morning. And we had to get up at 6 to go on to Springfield. Tomorrow morning, he's leaving here at 4 a.m. He has to fly to Indianapolis to greet the winners of the oratorical contest and fly back tomorrow afternoon to continue his trip in Rhode Island. He's only had 9 days in his own bed in Nebraska, as we all, Paul and I certainly know and appreciate all of that. So with that, I offer my congratulations and thanks. My name is on the committee as chairman, but most of the work is done by the committee. And finally, the young lady never wants to give me a bill. She won't take a bill from me, but everything you see on the front there with, as I said, because he was a mailman. But Joyce Avis, Joyce, thank you very much for all you do. She did all of these. So all I can say is, I'll be 83 on April 20th next week, so who's ever close to April 20, take the centerpiece. All right? Don't all grab it once. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll turn it back to our MC, our adjutant, Whitey McKittrick, for a great job, Whitey. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Would you please uncover? We're going to have our closing prayer.
O Heavenly Father, Creator and maintainer of the cosmos, protect us as we travel, both home and in business. Keep the ones that are protecting us in your loving hands. Remember them and remember those in need, those who are suffering wounds from mental and physical wounds. Bless them as they recover, and bless their loved ones as they are on the road to recovery with them. God bless us, our country, and the American Legion, the greatest veterans group in the world. Amen.
Thank you, Arthur. And Sergeant at Arms,
Comrade Chairman,
please render a hand salute.
colors in place. Hand salute. 2.
Thank you, everyone.